About negative 300,000 years ago, this weird species was introduced by evolution. They think they're smart, and they are if you compare them to that guy. They want to know everything, but they don't, so they pretend they know everything. They even made a word for it. Mythology. This dinosaur started a very famous myth, but right now it doesn't look impressive at all. It's a tiny lizard, but brave, and it loves jumping, especially jumping. More jumping than other lizards, definitely more jumping than him. It loved jumping so much that evolution gave up and it gave it feathers. Finally, I can fly. What if I jump off this cliff? Bad news, he died. But look, his kids tried as well. Bad news, they died too. Unfortunately, this process is repeated for millions of years until... What if I jump off this cliff? Good news, he survived. But he didn't fly quite yet. But he did glide. Fast forward one more time and we have modern birds. These birds were out of luck. They were constantly catching fire. Thanks to this new species in town called Homo sapiens. They used fire for a lot of things. They cooked with it, they camped with it, they accidentally burned everything with it. So things caught fire a lot. Now add birds. Birds live in trees. Trees catch fire. Birds panic. Birds fly. Birds come out of the flames. Then bird disappears back into the flames. Later, another bird flies out of the flames. Didn't that bird just die? I thought so. You know what this means, right? Rebirth. We can make a mythical creature out of this. Let's call it Phoenix. It turns out dinosaurs have very deceiving characteristics. Look at the fossils of this Protoceratops. Let's just call it giant lizard. It has a beak. Kinda like birds, right? Wrong. This giant loved plants, but plants didn't love it back. And the way around that was his beak. Its frill kinda looks like a lion's mane, except it wasn't hairy at all. But early humans didn't know that. Now, you're walking through a desert. It's hot. You're tired. You find some bones. Big ones. Beak-looking ones. 4 legs. So what conclusion do you come to? Easy. Dinosaur. Lion-looking eagle. Oh, I guess everyone comes to different conclusions. Then someone tells someone else what they saw, and that someone else tells someone else what someone else saw, and someone else said, we can make a mythical creature out of this. Let's call it griffins. This is a Eohippus. Think of it as cute small forest guy. Uh-oh, Earth update. Forest got replaced by grassland. Our small guy is in trouble. But evolution has his back. Since grass is everywhere, let's eat it. Small problem. It's tough. So now, he needs huge flat teeth. Not so cute now. Another problem. No trees means no hiding. Let's give it long legs so he can outrun the bad guys. Where did my toes go? They made you slow. But at least you have one big toe. Now, he is bigger, faster, and honestly kinda majestic. New species unlocked. Horses. Humans saw them everywhere, and humans love to be humans, which means making stuff up. Why should we do that exactly? Because it's special and divine, I guess. We can make a mythical creature out of this. Let's call it Pegasus. This is one of the most beautiful creatures on Earth, at least according to early sailors. This is a manatee. It didn't always look this beautiful. A long time ago, it had legs, it could walk, which was unfortunate because walking is a lot of work, so it kept taking the lazy route towards the water where food was already there. Eventually, its legs gave up and said, you don't need me anymore. But even swimming was too much, so evolution was nice enough to make them naturally buoyant. But this still doesn't explain why sailors thought they were so beautiful, except it does. Well, only if you're blind. So when they looked out into the ocean and saw something floating upright, they saw what they wanted to see, and instantly thought, beautiful woman fish. Although the name was a bit complicated, so they stuck with mermaids instead. We can make a mythical creature out of this.
This bird works during the day, but daytime has too many problems because of big hawks and big scary things with big scary teeth and way too much trauma. I'm working night shifts now. Goodbye. 5 minutes into its nighttime shift, the bird falls into a bush and gets chased by a giant nocturnal raccoon. Skill issue. To survive, its body goes into emergency panic mode. Thousands of generations later, its eyes grow so massive that they literally jam inside its skull, so eventually it had to stretch its neck and stretch so much that it eventually had to stretch over 270 degrees. I'm hungry, said the bird who's hungry. Its wings made a loud flapping noise that scares away the mice, so it re-engineers its own wings and grows special soft feathers to literally slice the air in half and delay those sound waves. The bird finally became an owl. This owl sits on a tree branch staring into the night for 10,000 years. It has nothing else to do, so it just processes visual data. It stares so hard it accidentally learns math and calculus, then physics, then it calculates the exact molecular weight of time and figures out the entire universe in just a holographic simulation. Void owl. This is a squid. Small, squishy, and squiddy. Adorable. Life is hard, so I'm moving down to the deep ocean. Goodbye. It swims down 5 miles and gets flattened up instantly. It's no longer adorable. The squid realized to survive, it dumps its bones and fills its cells with toxic ammonia soup just to match the pressure. Waiting, said the squid who's waiting for a single piece of dead fish to float down. Finally, I'm literally dying. Its body goes into absolute emergency panic, so it needs to grab food from a further distance, and to do that, it needs to get its tentacles and literally rip it off until it can grow. We need evolution. Now the squid eventually develops powerful muscles that can literally break navy ships and swallow cargo fleets. The kraken is a creature that many people believe even till today, until ancient Norse sailors spotted in the water. They write down stories of this giant multi-tentacle monster dragging down entire ships. This is a garter snake. It slithers around the grass. The snake is sad because it has no venom, no claws, and hawks keep diving down from the sky to turn it into lunch. Tasty lunch! I need a weapon, said the snake that needed a weapon. Instead of finding a weapon, he decides to hide in the deep dark caves, and now these caves are full of deep dark caves that have actually deep dark spiders that are willing to trap people inside of those webs. The snake fought the cave spider about 2 billion times, and eventually it won once. Consistency will eventually be your destiny. It gets eaten so much that its DNA finally adapts to spot predators from every single angle at the same time. But this evolution is a total mess because instead of making more spiders with better vision, it actually ends up having multiple heads. Malfunction in the DNA. The cave collapses and the snakes are buried in the stone, but they absorb the mineral dust. Suffocation is bad because you can't breathe. Now if a predator looks into their eyes, that shock literally petrifies them into a solid limestone. Now Greek soldiers were found inside of a cave, completely frozen, alone inside of this solid limestone. Medusa!
This is a bull, a big angry unit with horns. The bull lives in a field, which sounds peaceful until you remember fields have wolves, storms, and humans holding sharp objects. I would like to stop being attacked and hunted for food. So the bull starts living in giant ancient buildings. A bad choice, right? Or so he thought. The buildings have stone walls, tight corners, and absolutely no respect for horn size. Bonk, bonk, bonk on the walls! At first, the bulls are terrible at surviving there. They charge into pillars, they slip on marble, they get trapped in courtyards. Amazing work. But the bulls that survive start changing. Stronger legs, bigger shoulders, thicker necks, angrier breathing. Evolution made a problem. Then some of the bulls start rising onto their back legs, to see over walls, to scare humans, and to reach food. Oh no, he's vertical! But evolution gets confused. Now it can run through walls, remember turns, break doors, and stare at people like it knows their secrets. Humans find the ruins full of bones and hear something stomping in the dark. So they do what humans always do. They panic. Then they write mythology. Minotaur! This is a coyote living in the desert, where the ground is hot, the food is rare, and half the plants are legally just knives. It howls because it's starving. That howl was not normal! Most coyotes hunt rabbits, steal scraps, and scream at 3 a.m. like they're announcing bad news to the desert. I need food, and I'm willing to become weird about it. So instead of chasing animals, it starts trailing humans from a distance, learning where they sleep, where they eat, and when they stop paying attention. It's not hunting, that's stalking. At first it's terrible at getting close, because dogs notice it, lanterns catch it, and people keep waking up at the worst possible time. But the coyotes that survive start learning things that they really should not be learning. They learn footsteps, they learn routines, they learn voices. That's not a regular coyote. Then their desert gets darker, the stories get stranger, and the people start seeing shapes that move like animals but stop like people. Something stands outside the house too still. Something runs on all fours too fast. Something calls your name from a place where nobody is supposed to be. Eventually, travelers stop describing a coyote and start describing something wearing the idea of a coyote incorrectly. Half man, half animal, half something else. Yes, that's 3 halves. That's the problem. Wearing the wrong skin. They called it Skinwalker. This is an ancient crocodile living in a flooded valley, where the water is black, bones are everywhere, and the mud is definitely hiding crimes. The water is changing him. This thing is already huge, but unfortunately, nature looks at huge animals and says, let's make it worse. I'm mostly mouthed, and somehow I'm still unsatisfied. The valley is full of giant predators, poison water, and animals so large that they make normal crocodiles look like pool noodles. So it adapts. Its body gets longer, its scales become armor, its tail can break trees, and its jaw can crush bones like wet crackers. That's too much lizard! But then the real problem starts. Predators attack its neck, other monsters bite chunks out of it. And every time it survives, the wounds heal back strong. Not better, but worse. A split spine, a second skull, another jaw growing where the scar should be. Genetic anomaly! At first it has 2 heads, then 3. Then enough heads that sneaking up on it becomes mathematically stupid. One head sleeps, one head watches, one head eats, one head is just angry for decoration. Thousands of years pass, and the beast becomes too large for the swamp to ignore. Nature made a boss fight! Eventually people find an entire marsh full of broken trees, animal carcasses, and tracks big enough to count as roads. Then they see it, a mountain of scales, a forest of necks, a mouth in every direction, almost a dragon, almost a serpent, almost survivable, almost is a lie, because you can't survive the Hydra. Nature made animals, then stories made them worse. Good night.